This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
The recording has started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of our monthly miniseries, Who is Captain Marvel? If you haven't listened to episode 1 yet, scroll down. Matt Conan and I discussed Marvel, the first Marvel character to go by the name Captain Marvel. And now, episode 2, I'm here with Capes and Lunatics, Superconnectivity's own Charlie Esser, to discuss his favorite...
The Professor.
Yeah, your favorite Captain Marvel, correct? Monica Rambeau?
The one and only Captain Marvel, yeah.
Oh.
The one true Captain Marvel of the Marvel Universe. No, it bears out because the other guy is named Marvel.
Well, I mean, I was thinking more like the Carol Danvers fans.
Well, no, but she was Ms. Marvel. She has taken the name Captain Marvel.
Yes.
So she's technically the second Captain Marvel, but this is the first Captain Marvel.
Yes.
So this is the original Captain Marvel. Just out of curiosity, are you and Lilith going to do one about the big red cheese?
Yes. After we do all the Marvel ones, yeah, we're gonna when we get closer to the
yeah.
movie. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Hey, does Shazam come up before Captain Marvel?
Maybe.
It's just interesting who's going to be the first Captain Marvel in the theaters.
Oh wait. Whose movie's coming out first?
Yeah. Shazam came out before Captain Marvel. Shazam came out in 19...
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Oh, no, Carol Danvers is coming first, because I believe her movie's in March, and I believe the Shazam's in April.
Well, it's weird that we have so much more Shazam stuff than Captain Marvel stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. To me, it's weird, but I'm not in charge of marketing for either of these companies, so... anyway.
But anyway, let's start at the beginning. I mean, I found it was odd that, neither one of us had read her first appearance, her origin story in Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense for me. I'm not a Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, I am, but for some reason it must have just slipped through the cracks, so I
but what I really loved about this is just, and it's kind of weird, and I really got to go back and rewatch Cloak and Dagger now to see if it was actually Roxxon Platform 25. Because it's just this weird aspect of it that this is the Cloak and Dagger origin story that we just saw on TV. It is researching strange other dimensional energies in New Orleans. I mean, right down to her getting her costume from old Mardi Gras. I mean, just something as subtle and simple as that. And it's like, wow, this is very much the story of Cloak and Dagger. And it was a great thing that obviously, the people who wrote Cloak and Dagger, when they were looking for a way to tell this story, probably looked up superheroes from New Orleans.
No, maybe.
To see what kind of Marvel backstory they had. And they came across this story and said, this is really exactly the kind of story we want to tell. And what I love about this is it's one of the things I've always loved about Captain Marvel, is that she is kind of, and it's fitting that she does debut in Spider-Man, because she kind of has a Spider-Manic quality to her, in the idea that she is somewhat unsure of herself, and this is very much defines herself in her early days, where she has this unsurety about herself. She has this amazing power, and her unsurety isn't a weakness. It is sometimes even her strength. It is just this idea that she is willing to acknowledge that she is not perfect, and basically, the real Captain Marvel isn't going to be starting any civil wars in the superheroes. That's all I'm going to say. She's not going to be so pig-headed and bullheaded as to just, and to her detriment sometimes, because, Dr. Druid definitely gaslighted her in the Avengers. that guy was evil, man.
But I mean, her whole origin. I mean, I buy it, but it's there's easily room there for retcon because like this guy just like shows up and he's like this old guy and he's like, I knew your grandfather helped me like storm this oil platform. Meanwhile, just him and this woman. Oh. Yeah, let's get past all these armed guards and.
First off, they're not storming the oil platform.
No,
and not for nothing. She's actually just humoring him. He's this crazy old guy that her granddad knew. Now, of course, if this was the current Captain Marvel, there'd be all kinds of retcons about how he did experiments on her granddad. She has superpowers now,
She's half great, yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh man, that was just such a bad.
I'm telling you, I think that's coming up in the movie. I think that's why they did that.
Oh, of course it's coming up in the movie. That's going to be but it's just like it doesn't make sense, and Tristan wants to see Far From Home. He's very excited about it. I don't know if you can hear him on the new headphones or not, but yeah. What I can honestly say is but okay, yes. So they go there, and it's very much a product of its time because here she is. She's using her feminine wiles to get aboard the rig, and not for nothing. I do
the string bikini. Yes.
Oh yeah. Hey, that was a nice string bikini. That was clearly well made, high quality fabric. It's a little untoward, but. Then again, it certainly worked. And she is a woman who can handle herself, and she obviously felt she could an oil rig with, 20 armed, fascists or what have you.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a little weird in that product of its time. What I will say though, it's interesting as much as it is a product of its times. It is also kind of. And I think it's maybe even the first example we have of this urge towards diversity that we have in comics. And, for lack of a better thing, the effort to the first victim of Comicsgate, in that here you have this character who was African American female lead taking over a legacy name, and I don't know if there was really a backlash from fans, but I can't imagine there wasn't. And then Mark Gruenwald comes in and decides that when he's taking over Avengers as editor, he's gotta weaken Captain Marvel so that when Captain America comes back, he looks all the stronger. I mean, all the way down to actually, literally depowering her and turning her into a feeble old woman at the end of the arc,
Yeah, but I mean, they do that in comic books sometimes too, because wasn't the creative team changing too? So it's like they kind of wipe the board, and it's like, I guess,
well,
whatever you want on the team.
According to what I read, the actual creator of Captain Marvel was, and I forget his name now, but the writer on that book, the guy who created the character, was actually the writer of the Avengers at that time.
Oh, Roger Stern, yeah. Yeah,
Roger Stern was that. Thank you. Roger Stern was the writer on Avengers when Mark Gruenwald took over as editor, and he decided arguably because Mark Gruenwald was writing Captain America at the time, that he wanted Cap to be in charge.
Yeah.
And basically, although Stern was fine with Cap coming back, it's like he wanted, I guess the legend says that Mark Gruenwald wanted Captain Marvel to be shown to be an ineffective leader, and that's why Cap had to come back. And Stern actually quit the book over that.
Oh,
because he said, "No, that's not how I want this character to play," and he quit the book. And then I forget who took over after that, but they go into the whole Dr. Druid is evil thing. So
yeah, because I was going to say
it leads to Avengers Disassembled. So
yeah, I was going to say after 300, isn't that when John Byrne came in? I think around 305 or something.
Possibly. But what is interesting overall is that it is a interesting arc when you consider it in the modern comics universe of this urge to have characters that look like America, that look different than what we normally think of as superheroes. That there can be a superhero who is a black woman of all things. And, imagine a black woman with superpowers, and not for nothing, actually pretty amazing superpowers.
Oh, yeah.
Like superpowers that make her like one of the top most powerful characters in comics. And, she winds up leading the Avengers, and, honestly, probably one of the worst groups of Avengers ever. Like, intentionally so. They were very much, it kind of reminds you of, like, Barack Obama. They make a black woman in charge of the Avengers, and of course, now we got Namor and Hercules fighting left and right. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, again, that was another thing in comics is like back around that time too, Justice League kind of did that same thing too. They threw in all these like B and C list characters who like didn't have their own books, and so. Yeah.
But anyway, I still love Captain Marvel. And after that, I think she kind of came into her own.
Yeah.
I think that the Captain Marvel you get post-Avengers, I think the Captain Marvel that you get in, I believe it was Next Wave, and especially for me, Marvel Divas, which I think was the reintroduction of Captain Marvel. And I know Marvel Divas got a lot of flack because it was, Sex in the City with superheroes, but I really loved that book. And, I was never quite sure why Black Cat was there. Like, Black Cat, she's not a superhero, although it was during a period where she was trying to go straight. And I guess maybe her and Patsy, because they're both cat-themed, maybe got along, But, you've got Monica, and you've got Firestar, which is always great, and Hellcat. So really, you've got all these great B characters that I love. And, they live their life in foibles, and I really enjoyed it. And I think at that time is when Captain Marvel really starts getting, next wave before then, and then she comes back in Divas. But I think, you get this much more confident Monica Rambeau to the Monica Rambeau we get in the Ultimates.
Yes, the Ultimate. That's where her return really struck me, is in the Ultimates. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, but this is one thing I'll say about Marvel is that I really feel like everything feeds into something else, And again, this comes into this idea that, when they do Avengers Disassembled eventually, that's years after the arc with Captain Marvel and Dr. Druid being just this manipulative freak.
Yeah.
So when you do Disassembled and they say, and by the way, remember how Dr. Druid's just a real manipulative freak? Well, here you go. Where did you think we were going with this? And I love that quality of it, that you get that kind of continuity to it. So I gotta talk like my favorite Captain Marvel moments. And one of my favorite Captain Marvel moments is actually in Secret Wars.
What, the first one?
And this is, the first one. The original Secret. That's why I said Secret Wars. Because there's the Secret Wars, and then everything else is some other thing. But when I say Secret Wars, I mean Secret Wars. And there's this great scene in it where the Molecule Man hardens the air around him and Volcana. Now, this is after Molecule Man just got gutted by Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we remember that. And she says, I've made an invisible barrier. And Captain Marvel says, it's not invisible, it's transparent, meaning light can pass through it. And she just shoots through, and she grabs him and pulls out his stitches. And they're like, please, he has stitches. And they all surrender. And it's great because on one hand, it's her being this very intelligent, very capable superhero, seeing the basic flaw in his plan, and moving through this barrier that he's created that she can get through with no trouble, and also with her dealing with the fact that things are kind of real and kind of out of her depth in this sense that she didn't intend to rip his guts back open, but it's one of my favorite things. And the other scene that is at also one of my favorites, which again comes from the Avengers annual where they had the when Quicksilver betrays the Avengers, and it starts off with the softball game, and it gets out of the park, and you see Monica fly up, do a backflip, turn solid again, grab the ball, and land. And I love that because then I believe it's Hawkeye goes to argue that no, it was out of the park by the time she caught the ball. And Hank Pym, who's the playing umpire, says, "Oh, okay, I guess it's out." And it's like, I just did something amazing, but you got to take it away from me, don't you? You just have to take it away from me. And not for nothing, you can catch the ball after it leaves the park. They do that all the time. The guy goes back against the wall and grabs the ball. That is a perfectly legal play. Hank Pym made the wrong call, but what else is new?
Well, I mean, yeah, because that's the other thing. Monica Rambeau is like so unique in this group of Captain Marvels because everyone else, it's like they're like, they like physically have to like muscle stuff around, and any energy manipulating thing they have is either through like negabands or like, Carol Danvers had binary powers and still kind of does to a degree, but Monica Rambeau is the only one who actually transforms into energy,
Oh, yeah. And
cosmic rays, gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet radiation, visible light, electricity, infrared, radiation, microwaves, radio waves, neutrinos.
Are you reading?
I'm reading the Wikipedia, yeah, and she can go invisible.
Oh, the Wikipedia, yeah. No,
yeah.
For a minute, I thought you were reading that episode, that issue of the Hulk.
Oh, when she tried to bombard him with every kind of...
Yeah, all the different kinds of radiation she could become, and none of the radiations would stop him. But, but this is one of these things, and this is something that, again, we get into in the Ultimates, where it's like, where Marvel creates a character, and like, years later someone says, you realize if someone was actually that powerful, that they're actually like one of the most Omega-level creatures in the universe? It's like a Scarlet Witch thing. Like, oh, you alter probabilities. You know how much... you have to alter the universe to alter a probability, it's like, it's crazy. And of course, that's what we've done and that's where she's at now, where she is this being of living light. And she is just so much more powerful and can become anything. And it's fascinating in going back to that or original origin of this extra dimensional energy, just like Speedball. But, man, those extra dimensions, they got so much energy. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole dimension, the quantum zone, where Quasar's quantum bands get their energy from. There's nothing in this universe. It's just the universe of, like, energy, like invisible energy.
I know. But, I guess it makes sense. And, I guess that, like, the universe that's closest to all these, like, crazy energy universes has all the superpowers. And we gotta be, like 20 universes out,
Yeah, well, at least, yeah.
Yeah, that's why we got no superpowers, man.
All right, well, here's the question I've been, like, pondering for a while. I've been wanting to talk this for weeks. It's like, everyone's like, oh, Carol Danvers, and I like the character, and, I'm glad she's getting the movie, but it's like, when did she switch the name Captain Marvel? I think it was like 2010 or something. And I'm just like, well, didn't you already had a female Captain Marvel? Why go with Carol Danvers? I mean, I know you want to make room for Kamala Khan to take that Miss Marvel name, but it's like, you already had a female Captain Marvel.
Well, what it was, I mean, and obviously what it is that Captain Marvel had stopped using the name by then.
Yeah. Because Marvel's son was using it, but then he was gone, so... But I didn't know, maybe they wanted, like, their own Wonder Woman, like, someone who actually, like, muscled stuff around and...
I mean, that's possible. I think it's mostly just the fact that no one was using the name at the time. I think that's mostly what it was. I mean, I think the main reason why Captain Marvel was created, why Monica Rambeau got the name Captain Marvel, was because Marvel wanted to make sure that they had an active character named Captain Marvel.
I think so, because I'm pretty sure, I think her first appearance was like the same year Marvel died, so yeah, I'm pretty sure, they were...
Yeah, although I love the fact that she didn't even know there was a guy named Captain Marvel.
Yes, it was just one of the guys, in the accident that gave her their powers. What was it? He was saying that, and
es Capitan Ismavella,
Yeah.
Which I also, and then again, it's one of these interesting things where it's all
chance.
It goes this diversity of the world, Mm-hmm. It's this, you start off in New Orleans, which is a very diverse city, It is the center of Creole culture.
Yeah, she worked for the Harbor Patrol.
She worked for the Harbor Patrol, man. And honestly, this is what I'm saying. Is like I'm going to be a little disappointed now in Captain Marvel unless there's some kind of tie to Cloak and Dagger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I really, you know, because since Monica Rambeau or Maria Rambeau.
Well, you know what? Going over there, doing my research for this, I forgot Maria is her mother's name in the comics. So I'm wondering if in the movie, if that's in the Captain Marvel movie, if that's supposed to be her mother. So then when she comes to present day, she meets the daughter, Monica.
Oh,
so maybe we will get Monica Rambeau in the MCU down the road here,
or she, maybe she was also near that explosion, or actually they had another explosion. You know, we're getting what's the character's name? The villain?
Who? Is it Jon Rog or?
No, the villain in next season's Cloak and Dagger.
I forget her name.
Yeah, it's like Berserk or Crazy or Manic
something like that. But
yeah, it's something like. But you know, who's to say that Monica wasn't by another explosion? You know, maybe she was out on Harbor Patrol, and you know, not for nothing, that happens. You know, and again, you have this power of darkness and light. This is what I like most about it. It is this power of darkness and light, and everyone talks about, oh, Cloak is tied to the dark dimension. The dark dimension and dark forces, how his powers are generated. No one ever talks about the light dimension, because clearly, if this power is coming from the dark dimension, there has to be a light dimension that Dagger is getting her powers from. And if you were stuck in the hole between the universes and holding them together by sheer force of your own beatry, you know, that would be a great way to gain powers. And so I would love to see, obviously they're not going to call her Captain Marvel, but Photon or Pulsar.
I was going to say Spectrum. She's had a couple names, so.
Yeah, you know. Why not? You know, but that would be great. And to get her in the Cloak and Dagger series would be awesome. As being a pure light.
I guess. I think I would like to see her in a movie somewhere just because they have a bigger budget for special effects and stuff.
Oh, certainly. Although I guess, Person in Transit Light, that's a relatively inexpensive special effect. It's one you can do on TV.
Yeah.
You literally are just doing a whitewash on the character, or a light wash, where you make them all glowy.
True.
It's relatively easy to do, and they can do it, and I would love to see it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And not for nothing, I love the fact that the professor apparently knows someone who has access to unstable molecules, which literally means he went to Reed Richards.
Exactly. That's what I was like, okay.
I got you this costume of unstable molecules.
It's like everyone having access to kryptonite. Okay.
Yeah, well, kryptonite just falls to the earth, so you can actually understand how people get access to kryptonite.
Is there?
But unstable molecules are actually very difficult to get, and you have to go to a criminal to get them. You have to go to like Doc Ock.
That's what I was going to say. Was that like the first indication we had that there was like a black market for unstable molecules?
Well, there has to have been, because there were a lot of supervillains who had unstable molecules prior to that.
The Wizard or Doom or somebody was like great in Reed Richards' Fouls or something. Well, the Wizard, I could see the Wizard selling stuff.
Yeah, the Wizard must have, because the Wizard did the redesign on Sandman's costume.
Yeah, and Doom's not sharing with anybody, so yeah, it's probably going to be the Wizard. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, probably the Wizard. I mean, hey, it's got to finance all of his experiments somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Wizard is probably the one guy who actually comes closest to maybe being on par as a genius as Reed Richards, because he's the only one that actually creates really anti-gravity discs, man.
Oh yeah.
It's like, and it's one of those things. Like you think about all the things you can do with gravity. It's like it's like Monica Rambeau. Oh man, they should explore with Monica Rambeau her becoming gravity waves.
Oh.
Not for nothing, when she was regaining her power, she does find herself with the ability to manipulate mechanical energy. What if she can manipulate gravity waves? Become a gravity wave, absorb gravity waves. She could be her own graviton.
Or what about time travel? Because, she can hit light speed. What happens if you go fast enough, King?
Well, if she could become...
Tachyons?
A Tachyon wave, yeah. She could do time travel. But you know what? No good ever comes from time travel.
No.
No good. And not for nothing, that's like the biggest... You can only go backwards in time. You really can't go forward in time by going fast. That's like always a big problem with that whole Speed Force thing.
Yeah.
It's not a two-way street. It's like the only way you could actually go forward in time is if you actually started to stand really, really still.
Yeah, and yeah.
Which is actually true. What you'd have to become, and it's actually what you would have to do is you would have to become static in a point in space.
Yes.
If you were static in a point in space, then time would move faster over you than it does in the rest of the universe. And the rest of the universe would move away from you. So it kind of defeats the purpose of it if you're a speedster. Also, you would probably die because you won't be on the planet anymore because the planet would have moved several thousand miles away in that period of time. Anyway,
but you know how they should aren't they talking about in Avengers 4 that maybe they're doing the whole quantum realm thing and stuff? What if the accident that the accidental energies come from that and gives Monica her powers?
I'm open to anything, quite frankly, and we did see that quantum energy is pretty cool. That quantum realm energy. If only you could harness that into some sort of bands. Maybe we could get another.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know,
they got to build up that cosmic side now because I don't know if we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy anymore.
Oh, they'll get to the Guardians of the Galaxy again. It just won't be, like I said, I get the feeling that was way too amicable to be gone. Like, oh, don't fire me. No, it's like, I was out of ideas anyway. I didn't know what I was going to do for this.
Yeah, I know, but like you brought up, are they going to be like a priority now? Because we got we're going to have Fantastic Four back. We got Captain Marvel. If we get Monica Rambeau. Yeah,
they do the Blue Marvel, then we got.
Oh. Well, that's the thing. Monica Rambeau, she could be the connection between, any of the Earthbound movies and any of the cosmic stuff. Because someone who travels at light speed, you could be here and there.
We actually have to travel faster than light to get anywhere of significance. You can only go this solar system in light speed.
But light speed. Push it a little further.
The universe is a big place. It's like, if she traveled at tachyonic speed, then maybe, yes. But, because tachyons do travel faster than light, which is why they go backwards in time. At least that's the theory. Monica Rambeau, she's untapped potential. She's like the Molecule Man. Mm-hmm. There's so much you can do with the character, and they just have to. I don't think it's a coincidence that when she came into her own, she was fighting the Beyonders.
Oh yeah,
the Beyond Corporation, man. She went up against those guys, came out smelling like a rose. I'm telling you, man. I think that the woman's got a lot of potential as a superhero. I think she has heard it 1,000 times over, and she just needs to get people to stop treating her lousily.
And was she how do I put this? Was she the member of the Avengers who went from joining the team to team leader the quickest?
Because she took over after the Wasp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only a few years when she became the leader of the East Coast Avengers.
Well, yeah, because when did she join? 227, and then she was the team leader by it was after the siege on the mansion. So yeah, it was probably only 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but not for nothing. Let's not forget she has leadership.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that it was a bad thing. I'm just.
Honestly, the superpowers are the thing that throws her off her game.
Mm-hmm.
She is, she's a super person, and she was before she got her powers. So, I think she went quickly, and for what it's worth, when she first takes over, it is Captain America endorsing her to take over. Mm-hmm. Probably because he sees her as that, military type of person like herself. So.
Yeah, no, I just think that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah. Well, it helps when people are writing your story for you.
Oh, yeah, true, yeah.
It is fiction, after all. It's not like Boulder can become the leader of the Avengers next week. It's just someone wrote that.
Whoever their favorite is, but yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe you didn't read her origin story before now, because, I mean, we did get that Ben Grimm cameo in there, too.
Oh, yeah, you got Ben Grimm, and everyone hates Spider-Man, which is always good. I love just the idea that everyone is just like, Spider-Man, you just stop. Just stop, Spider-Man. Like, no, I'm helping!
She's dangerous! That's ironic. Most of that issue, he's like, she's a menace!
Yeah, well, that's Spider-Man for you. My spider sense tells me she's trouble. It's like, maybe you just think to yourself, Spider. You ever think that the spider sense is just saying, Spider-Man, you're about to cause a lot of trouble?
Well, the first thing that drew him, he was like, he just saw her in civilian clothes. He's like, ooh, who's that?
She's a pretty lady.
Yeah. Did you see Did you see in the notes that originally, I guess, when they were coming up with the character, at first they were going to make her look like Pam Grier?
Yeah, I can imagine that. But they already had a character based off of Pam Grier in Misty Knight. So.
Yeah, I know. So they did change that up.
But all black women look exactly alike.
Well, do you think it was 1982 where they just like, okay, who's a famous black woman, kind of very attractive? Let's go with Pam Grier.
Yeah, there are others though.
But yeah, I guess they changed that up, and then I think it was Roger Stern who created her or something. Was like, yeah, by the time they got done with her, she just looked like a generic black woman.
Yeah, well, a generic comic book black woman. So.
Yes.
She's very well put together. It's
well, what female in comics is it?
Well, exactly.
Especially back then, yeah.
Yeah. But what male? Yeah, it's not. They're all. It's everyone works out in the comics.
Well, then when you get,
he's like the one guy who says, "I refuse to bow to your stereotype."
And when you get into like someone with like Monica's powers, with like turns the energy and turns back to a human body, it's like can they subtly alter their appearance? So it's like this is. Would they settle without even thinking about it? Maybe give themselves their ideal form.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've actually established a few times that when you gain superpowers, your body starts to fix itself.
Oh yeah, especially when your body's transforming, and yeah.
Yeah, well, no, but they actually covered that in what was it? The Initiative, because Cloud9, she didn't have to wear glasses after she developed her superpowers, and then when she got the little nanites that took away your powers, then suddenly she had to wear glasses again. And she was like, oh, yeah, I got to go back to wearing glasses because I'm no longer super.
Because I was reading some of those Ultimates, that we reviewed on All New Marvel Roundup. But, I was reading them for this. And I think Monica...
Way down.
Yeah, scroll way down. But, go look, enough said. But, no, I think she even makes the comment that it's like, her energy form was feeling more and more natural. And it's like when she became human, it felt like she was like turning... I don't know, not turning something off, but like...
Well, they eventually established that she no longer does turn human.
Yeah.
That it's just that she makes herself look human. That she's always energy. Which means that she's now also a shapeshifter. Like Loki.
who's been confirmed getting his own series on Disney. Was it Disney Plus?
Superconnectivity, man. Yeah. But,
yes.
So scroll up, or... Yeah. Because we haven't done that yet. So, but no, I mean, I think Monica Rambeau is one of the... I mean, I think that on every level, she was a character who really, established herself as something new and something different. What comic books should always try to be. They violated your comfort zone, but made you feel good about it. Mm. And, I like that. I endorse Monica Rambeau for superhero.
So I was going to say, we could wrap it up here soon. But yeah, my thought is I would love to see her in the MCU, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. I don't think Carol Danvers gets she was already Miss Marvel, but I don't think she gets where she is today if Monica hadn't paved the way.
Oh, I don't think so at all. Yeah. I think that Monica built up the idea of the female Captain Marvel.
Yes.
And, like I said, Monica has gotten a lot of flack. But, that's what happens when you're the first. You're the first, the first female Captain Marvel. You're the first black Captain Marvel. You're going to get the fan backlash. Even guys we respect, like Mark Grunwald, couldn't handle it. So,
I don't know if it's he couldn't handle it, but he did love Captain America, like.
Don't we all?
Major Cap fan. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like we said, you play favorites with your favorite characters. Like you said, if you were writing Avengers, Boulder would be the leader.
He would be. It would be. He would. I would show you how great a character Boulder was if I were you. If Marvel ever lets me write comic books, they will be out of business in 3 weeks. But it will be 3 weeks of amazing Boulder stories. That's all I'm saying.
All right, before we go, I think we did this last episode. If anyone would be interested in, if people aren't familiar with Monica Rambeau, what story do you recommend to them? Like what arc or what?
Oh, I would say pick up Marvel Divas. I will. It's collected. It's not too expensive. I mean, it's very kind of funny and silly and sexy, But I think she gets a really great chance to shine in it. I mean. Obviously, if you really want, I guess what you can always say is with any comic book character, it all depends on which version of them you want to read.
Yeah.
Next Wave has its arguments. The Ultimates certainly was just as a book one of the best books written by Marvel.
Oh yeah, that's one that would be one of my recommendations is Ultimates because I mean it's Monica, it's Black Panther.
Yeah, like for just standalone Monica Rambeau. I would say Marvel Divas gives you everything you could want from Monica Rambeau. And, and it's having that, pick up that original Secret Wars series. And,
I mean, Ultimates is a good comparison because Carol Danvers was on that team too and Monica Rambeau. So you get a nice little comparison right there.
Yeah. And I think, it was actually in Captain Marvel's, it was that first couple of arcs of Captain Marvel where she goes down to New Orleans and hangs out with with what was she, Spectrum then, and just before the Ultimates, and she makes, whatever. And, she makes the point that, you didn't even ask if you could use the name. Really. You didn't even ask.
Not that she's the first one who pulled that on Monica, but yeah.
But, I mean, that's the thing. And, and not for nothing, the magnanimity of Monica when she basically gives Jonas Vell the name.
Mm-hmm.
Not Jonas Vell, Jonas Vell. It's not one of the Jamesons.
Yeah. But you could kind of see where Jonas Vell was coming from because that was his father's name, but Carol Danvers just like swipes up the name.
Yeah. Hey, white women.
At Charlie Esser on Twitter.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying I wouldn't marry one. That's all I'm saying.
And he didn't.
I did not. Okay, that's for your cards and letters.
All right. I think that's enough for tonight. All right. Charlie Esser, if people want to talk. But yeah, Ultimates for Monica Rambeau, and I'd say any of those Roger Stern Avengers issues.
Oh, yeah. They're all good. I mean, honestly, as I'll say, I don't think you're going to pick up a book with Monica Rambeau in it. Well, you're not going to say that was a good book with Monica Rambeau in it. I'm going to say. I'm just going to go out on a limb on that. So, if I could put her as Boulder in it. If Boulder's in it, it's going to be a good book.
That's right. All right. All right, let's get out of here. All right, Charlie Esser, if anyone wants to talk Marvel Comics with you, where can they get a hold of you online?
Well, if you'd like to write to me in an old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Pops once did, to tell me how awful of a person I am, you can always do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And of course, follow me on the Twitters at live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Cloak and Dagger, where they stole Captain Marvel's origin, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing!
That's my mom.
That's right. You've got a system. That's right. So, send in any thoughts you have on any of the various Captain Marvels, especially any we haven't gotten to yet. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Facebook.com/Capes and Lunatics, at Capes Lunatics on Twitter, and the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-Capes. Because next month, the Quantum Zones, Will Allred and I will talk Gina Spell, who we just mentioned not too long ago. But then January, join us. Matt will be back, and we're going to talk Carol Danvers with special guest, Marvel writer Kelly Thompson, who's going to be writing Carol's new series in January.
Great.
Yes. So
Awesome.
Send in your questions. And then, as we said, after that, maybe the next month after that, Wolf Hellfire and I will be talking DC's Captain Marvel, Shazam, as he's currently known.
Shazam!
Shazam!
Shazam, Shazam, Shazam.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. That's right. Come back next month for episode 3, Gina Spell. So, a lot of Gina Spell's adventures written by Mr. Peter David, who Charlie Esser does.
He does not like me, but that's okay.
He liked you. He just, I don't know. He made some comment.
Like I said, it's not the first time he called me an idiot. He just said no. No Clown Hulk. I want the Clown Hulk at the DC. I want when the Hulk turns into a clown.
See, people, this guy knows Marvel. If there are people out there probably going, Clown Hulk? What's he talking about?
Gotta go into the mind of the Hulk and see all the Hulk. It's in the biggest picture. Go back. Just read everything with Joker. You'll understand.
All right, everyone, join us next month. Episode 3, Gina Spell. Send your thoughts.